Yo, what's going on, YouTube? And welcome back to Goal Line Hockey. It's your boy, Kevin Forte. And today we are taking a look out in the Midwest. We're heading to Missouri, specifically St. Louis. We're taking a look at the captain of the St. Louis Blues. He's less than a year away from unrestricted free agency. So what's going to happen with Ryan OReilly? Will they be able to extend him? Will they let him walk into free agency next summer? Do they trade him? Probably the least likely scenario, but we'll go over all of that today. So this was according to Elliot Friedman last week. I do think that the St. Louis Blues will now take a run at extending Ryan OReilly to see if they can avoid another Alex Pietrangelo situation. It's interesting he brings up Pietrangelo because there was reports that they were going to wait till the end of the season to negotiate with Pietrangelo. And once Pietrangelo got to that point, he said, you know what, I want to see what's out there. I want to see what's available. They were never that close. And next thing you know, he's gone. And Pietrangelo, who was a huge part of that blue line, all of a sudden disappears. So they don't want to do the same thing here with OReilly. They just named him the captain last season, or 2 seasons ago now. He's been there a little while. But I think they would like to try and hammer something out. Now, you have to remember what recently has gone on in St. Louis, which may affect what happens here with OReilly, because they have just signed a pretty massive contract. Actually, I'm pretty sure 2 pretty big contracts here recently. So when you look at what they've added, of course, now I can't pull it up. Okay. Yeah. So Robert Thomas and Jordan Kyrou got massive extensions. Robert Thomas, back earlier this summer, he's 23 years old, and this kicks in next year. He signed an 8-year, $65 million contract. So that's pretty hefty, and I would assume that O'Reilly's going to want more than that. Same thing for Jordan Kyrou, who is 24 years old and is coming off of his bridge contract. He also signed an 8-year, $65 million contract, and just 3 months to the day after the Robert Thomas signing. So if that's the case, first of all, that's over 16.25 million dollars per season locked up in those 2 players. Now here's the other thing. O'Reilly's 31, and Tarasenko is also on the final year of his contract. And that's why we've been hearing so much talk over the last 2 years. Could they trade Tarasenko? What's going on there? Is he happy in St. Louis? And now he also is a year away from unrestricted free agency. So the St. Louis Blues are kind of in a crossroads. And the chances are, I think the obvious thing is they will probably stick with Ryan OReilly. So if that's the case, well, what does his number look like? Now, here's the thing. He's going to be the highest paid player on the Blues. I don't have any doubt about that. Binnington makes 6. Justin Falk and Torrey Krug and Colton Parayko each make 6.5. And of course, 8.125 is the total per year for Kyrou and Thomas next summer. So what does Ryan OReilly get? Well, my guess would probably be, because he is 31 years old, maybe they can get him for 8.5. And that's even high. I think they look at it as he's the captain. He's one of those guys that maybe you give him a 5-year deal. 5 years, 8.5. So you're giving him a higher salary than you'd probably like, but you're also signing him until he's 36 instead of 40. Right? Because if you sign him to a max term deal at an 8-year deal, he'll be 32 next summer. That's going to take him to 40. So even if he makes $7 million till 40, that's not worth it. I'd rather give him more per season at 8.5, but you're also going to get that contract out from under you 4 years earlier. So that's kind of how I would look at this if I were the Blues. Now, we've also heard some other stuff here from Louis Korak, that dialogue between the Blues and Ryan OReilly has already begun, which is not too surprising, but again, it's a good sign here for the Blues. And that's really what we're kind of up against here is, you have those two big extensions, $16 million invested into Kyrou and Thomas, into some of your younger guys. You still have over almost $16 million in cap space, $15.95 million next season. But again, you have Thomas Greiss, who signed a one-year deal, so they're going to need a backup next year. Nico Mikkola, his contract ends next summer. Ivan Barbashev comes off his money. He might end up just going to free agency. Same thing for Nola Chari. And then you start to see other guys like Logan Brown, Alexei Toropachenko, Josh Levo. What do they do with those guys, right? They're going to need to fill some holes next year. So they've got the core of this team down, right? You've got Braden Shen for forever, Pavel Buchnevich till 2025, Brandon Saad till 2026, and of course, Kyrou and Thomas for the foreseeable future, right? Another 9 years for each of them. So let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. What do you guys think of the St. Louis Blues and their situation with Ryan O'Reilly? Would you rather them keep Tarasenko over O'Reilly? Would you rather see them keep O'Reilly over Tarasenko? And would you like to see them maybe trade the other one so they can get some value instead of letting them or one of them walk into free agency for nothing? Let me know your guys' thoughts. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys again next time.